next, Amy, Arlington Memorial Cemetery. Trump was there. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding it. Please let us know what's going on.
Yeah, this is a crazy story. So let's preface by what happened for anybody who is unaware. 3 years ago, an ISIS suicide bomber launched a deliberate act of evil, a heinous attack outside of Kabul airport at Abbey Gate, which killed 13 service members and over 100 innocent Afghans as well.
Jeez.
So just over a week ago now, it was August 25th, Donald Trump was invited to Arlington Cemetery in Virginia to commemorate these fallen soldiers alongside all of their families by whom he was actually invited. So they invited him in the first place. And at one point, he was photographed and videotaped walking alongside Arlington's deputy chief of staff and laying a wreath on the tombstone of an unknown soldier. Okay. And a lot of controversy has come out of this. Before we dive into that, though, I do want to read a statement from U.S. Army veteran Lucas O'Hara, who was also present during this event. And essentially what he stated was, I've witnessed over 75 wreath-laying ceremonies performed by politicians and conducted 524 funerals in this cemetery during the time I served in the Presidential Honor Guard for 3 years. O'Hara added, referring to Monday's wreath-laying as the most respectful and solemn ceremony I have ever seen. So Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, and the rest of the team that came to pay their respects did that tenfold. There were no speeches, no angles, no weird photo ops, just our elected officials and the 45th president respectfully and solemnly honoring the fallen and their families. So this was the statement that he made. But unfortunately, the mainstream media, the left, the establishment didn't quite see it this way. So Connor, if we could bring up the wall of negative headlines that we were able to see from all of these various different publications. So this is the way that they went ahead and framed it. Harris calls Trump's appearance at Arlington a political stunt that disrespected sacred ground. U.S. Army rebukes Trump campaign for incident at Arlington. Trump's Arlington stunt was even more offensive than we first thought. The headlines just go on and on and on. We also had John McCain's son come out and say that he will now vote Democrat.
Good.
Right? I mean, I don't think we needed his endorsement anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But so slams Trump for the Arlington visit. Like, this is just insane, the way the left is framing this. Now, Tulsi Gabbard, who was also present, she did come out in Donald Trump's defense. So we're going to go ahead and play that video. The reporter essentially asked her if she thought that the way the festivities went down were appropriate. Did Donald Trump do anything out of the ordinary, anything inappropriate? And so let's go ahead and see her response.
You know, I checked with the campaign on this question, and they have exchanges with the officials at Arlington Cemetery. They were approved to bring a camera there to document this historic and momentous day that should not be forgotten by any American. And to have a former president there and joining these Gold Star families, I know President Trump wanted to share that with others, especially given the fact that President Biden and Harris, I heard, were invited by some of these family members. They not only didn't come, they didn't even respond to that invitation. And now to have Kamala Harris put this statement out yesterday saying that she stands with these families, she stands with the military and with veterans, you only have to look at the response that came from the Gold Star families of these 13 service members, of how offended they were by that statement, given she has not made any effort, not on that third anniversary or any other time, to call them directly to offer her condolences and even apologies for their decisions that led to the loss of their loved ones.
Amy, like, just the fact that these, like, by the way, the media is anything that Trump does. Even something as beautiful as him going to pay respects from these Gold Star families, guys, who lost children from under the incompetence of Joe Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan. They go there. They're paying. By the way, David, they asked him to come. They wanted these photos, and the fact that they called and asked Kamala, and Joe Biden. Joe Biden was at a beach, and Kamala was how far, Rob?
4 miles away, so a total of 10, maybe 15 minutes due to traffic.
In her mansion,
From
sitting
Arlington.
around. I've been sick and tired. No matter what this guy does, bro, he could save the world from nuclear. They would say, yo, but you know what? I don't like the way his finger. Look how his finger hit the button. He was being racist.
I know he brought peace to the Middle East with the Abraham Accords, and then
Rob,
this guy is trying to destroy the world, and you're like, wait, what?
Rob, he crossed the demarcation zone with freaking Kim Jong-un, and shook his hand and walked over. How much more peace could this guy do?
No security detail, by the way.
No security.
They've got the FJB. Like, I'm thinking, is it FTB or FKH that they have to have? Because there's not. Everyone will figure out what the FTB stands for. In my mind, it's insidious. At first, I thought. I didn't think that they were invited by the family, so I thought maybe they got insulted that Trump was invited and they weren't invited, and so they're lashing out at Trump to demonize him was a form of shame that they didn't get invited. Then it was reported that they were invited.
They invited everybody,
and they said no, and then they still weaponized it. Now it's disgusting beyond disgusting because they are disrespecting, above and beyond being responsible for the murder of their family members, they're now disrespecting the surviving family members, military families, of having invited Trump and them, taken the pictures that they wanted to take. And, I mean, it's an insult all around. And then you get your Twitter asses who are saying, well, these family members of the fallen soldiers don't get to desecrate the Arlington Cemetery with a photo op. It's the way to commemorate the loss that they suffered as a result of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and they victimize them yet again.
And how dare anyone tell these families how they should conduct themselves and how they should choose to honor their loved ones that they lost. There was actually a clip when I was researching this story initially, and I wish that I'd saved it at the time. I couldn't find it when I went back to look. But a CNN reporter actually badgered one of the mothers of one of these fallen soldiers, saying, "What would you say to people who say that this is inappropriate?"
Oh my God.
Go to hell is what I would say to them, and go to hell is what I would say to you. Not you, but you, the CNN
and that's
reporter.
essentially what she said. She's like, none of them know what it's like to actually walk in my shoes. I lost a child under this administration, and Donald Trump was there to pay his respects. And so that's what I really want to dive into now. Let's go ahead and pull up a couple of clips of these families talking about how and why they invited Donald Trump in the first place. You can click back, Connor, actually. This is the first one.
Okay.
We invited both President Trump and the Biden-Harris administration, and we didn't hear back from the White House. We were happy to welcome President Trump to lay wreaths with all three of our families and some of our wounded from that day. And when he came to Section 60, it was at our request to spend time with our loved ones. There was not a press presence there. We privately took pictures among ourselves. And it was, a more celebratory feeling for that day because, we want to celebrate our loved ones. And it's very hard to find ways to do that at a cemetery. But they were very respectful. We didn't see any altercation. And really, we just want our loved ones to be honored and remembered in a positive way.
Dude, it makes you so emotional, like hearing her voice, like breaking like that. Like, how are you going to tell these families who lost somebody how they should choose to honor their loved ones?
What's crazy is the narrative still goes on that he disrespected the families. It's not like that interview was aired on OAN or Newsmax or Rumble, like a place where they could be like, well, that's, the right defending him. That was on CNN. So how do all of these news stories still continue to perpetuate this fabricated story that he disrespected the families when the same outlets that are reporting that he disrespected the families are interviewing the families and they're saying he was invited by us?
It just goes to, like, which story gets the most attention. It's the initial lie that gets more attention than the rectification of it. So I guarantee you, most people didn't even see that interview. They're just running now with the lie that Kamala Harris put out.
And what about when Trump was in? Somebody here, just like the fake ass impeachment, somebody heard that he talked on a phone call. What about that bullshit story when they were like, oh, Trump said these soldiers are veterans, are sons of bitches, are suckers and losers. Nobody gives a shit that it was fake. It's the initial blow. That story gets circulated, and you have losers, leftist Democrats repeating it and repeating it and repeating. You have any idea how many fights and arguments I got over because people are like, well, you're a veteran. He said this about you. I go, where did he say it? Show me the audio and let me know that he said it. It's all bullshit. And it drives me crazy as a veteran because he's the only one, not Barack, not him, not Bush, not none of these assholes, give a shit as much as Trump. There's a video of him, and if you can, Connor, find it to show later because I'm going to get emotional. A soldier who was blown up. Donald Trump with Melania going to the hospital. This soldier stands up in pain just to shake Donald Trump's hand. And Donald Trump is there loving the guy and caring for him. You don't see that shit from Joe Biden. You don't see that shit from Kamala, from any of these assholes. And I'm sick and tired of this shit.
Yeah, you made a really great point on PBD podcast when you guys covered this story as well, Vinny, which is when you look at any service members, really in any capacity, even when it comes down to like civic service, like policemen, firemen, like how do you think those political parties are typically divided? Do you think we're mostly going to see more Republicans or more leftists and more Democrats who are serving? Like it speaks a lot to the mindset of the people.
How do you come back from this? Like this is not even left, right, whatever. Like the level of disrespect and disdain of these people about our service members. I was ignorant. I didn't know what a Gold Star family was. It's a tradition from World War One. That they used to display a banner, like it's a red, like white and red banner, and all the blue stars are the people that serve in the military, and then the blue stars, if the person died, it'd be replaced by a gold star. And how do you come back from this, Vinny? Like how anyone that served in the military, because everyone serves in the military, black, white, tall, Democrat, Republican. How do you come back from this? I don't understand. Like if Trump doesn't win, they don't allow him to win. Like how do you keep the people at bay from this level of disrespect? I don't know.
I got to read this. I'll read the tweet, not all of it because there's a lot of bad words in it. But Kamala Harris actually tweeted out, "As vice president, I've had the privilege of visiting Arlington National Cemetery several times. It's a solemn place, a place where we come together to honor the heroes, etc., etc. It's a no place for politics." She goes on to talk about some film. You don't use it for photo ops. I'm paraphrasing. Then Laura Loomer found a video of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris at the laying a wreath, if you can see it. And Laura Loomer had some choice words. I'll just say B instead of bitch when she says it. She says, "Hey, you stupid brain dead lying bitch. Isn't this you and brain-dead Joe Biden making a video of yourselves at Arlington National Cemetery? If you're not allowed to film, why are you posing for the cameras and all glammed up? You're a hypocrite and a liar. President Trump was asked to take the picture and invited by the families. They invited him. Their children died under your watch because of your botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, which you took credit for, you stupid bitch. You can't lie your way you can't lie your way to the White House, you stupid bitch. Do you understand you're a stupid bitch?" I mean, but the we got the video there, so we can see the video footage. Don't believe Laura Loomer. Here's the video.
Which Biden is this? It's the one that's hair.
But
parts
you have to
right.
appreciate these servicemen, whether or not you want to get hyperbolic and say they were murdered by the Biden administration, they were murdered as a result of grotesque, negligent incompetence at best by the Biden administration. And then they victimized them a second time by saying, "You guys are desecrating the memory of your dead children and daughter-in-laws and son-in-laws. And you invited me, and I chose not to go. Not only did I choose not to go to insult you and disrespect you there, but then I vilified you afterwards, and now you're getting shit on Twitter because people are coming out and saying you desecrated the National Arlington Cemetery. These people are demonic, satanic, evil creatures.
I believe
so
it.
evil.
I'd go so far as to say she has no idea. I would say that she doesn't even know what Arlington National Cemetery is or that she was there, because how would you go and put out that statement knowing the significance of that moment and being there and being part of that ceremony? How do you forget that?
They
unless
lie.
You have no idea.
They know you're lying. You know they're lying, etc.
You know what? I disagree. Like that space is a space for politics. It's a space for bad politics, because bad politics, like the withdrawal from Afghanistan, added a lot of people to that cemetery. I think every war declaration, the president should sit there, look at the graves, and then sign it before they go fight all these wars that we don't need to fight.
Have you guys ever been to National Arlington?
I have, yes.
It's
Actually, I
such
lived
a-
in
it's
Virginia
such a-
briefly.
yeah.
I went on Memorial Day.
So I took my son one time. We did a day trip to D.C. and I wanted to go do all the sites. And that was the first one we hit. And it was so sombering to walk through, because you just look and it's acres of crosses. And it's like, these are the people that and I turned to my son, I go, these are the people that sacrificed everything so you can live the life that you live today. They paid the ultimate price. And for this to be used as a political ploy, in this election. This is just done as propaganda to besmirch Trump and badmouth Trump. It's crazy that the mainstream media jumps in and then also aids the Kamala Harris campaign in their propaganda campaign.
It's deliberate demoralization of a population is my view. It's to demoralize people to not go into the army, whether or not it plays into going back to the CCP infiltration. It's demoralizing to the point where it will have national security impacts over the long run.
And Amy, what happens if he doesn't go?
They demonize him.
Yeah, if he doesn't
You're
go.
damned if you
If he
don't.
doesn't
You're
go.
damned if you don't. But can you guys believe that this is about to get even crazier and more hypocritical with what I'm about to show you? I know, hard to believe, but Connor, actually skip past this one. Let's go to the next one. And let's go ahead and play this. This is a Biden-Harris campaign filmed at Arlington
A campaign
ceremony.
ad?
You're
Yes,
kidding
literally
me.
at the end. So there's actually been a couple. This is the only one I was able to find a good clear video of.
Oh, God.
But literally, catch this at the end. It literally says vote Biden Harris, and it provides a phone number to call if you want to join the campaign.
I want to call them.
So go ahead.
Never lessen the magnitude of your loss. This I can promise you. We will never forget. May God bless you all. May God protect our troops.
What's the number? Oh, text. If there was a number, I was going to call and say, go to hell.
So they also
freaking
just
administration.
recently, just this summer, they also put out a campaign. You mentioned the fabricated quote that Donald Trump apparently said about what did Trump supposedly say according to the left about military members?
Oh, he said allegedly BS that they're suckers and they're sons of bitches or something. Somebody heard that somebody said. It's never on
50,
record.
Like 20, 30 people denied ever hearing
yeah,
it. It's not something that makes sense to even entertain as something that someone would reasonably say.
The
It makes no
Biden-Harris
sense.
campaign actually put out an ad, again, at Arlington ceremony, tombstones, like the whole ordeal, and they're putting up these quotes of Donald Trump and other quotes that they correlate with him disrespecting service members, and they literally use this as a campaign this summer. I didn't see any complaints about that from the left.
Never. You're never
They,
gonna
they,
get
re-
it from
they repeated that lie multiple times at the DNC. Kamala Harris said it in her closing verbal diary of a speech. Joe Biden said it. Suckers and losers, that he didn't go to the cemetery in France because they were like something like, I think he said sons of bitches or something.
Yeah, whatever.
When he, in fact, as far as I understood, couldn't go because of weather. The helicopter couldn't land. They are the most disgusting liars on earth. And I say they. I'm sure there are some liars on the conservative
Of course
side
there
of the
are.
political
Mitch
spectrum. But,
McConnell,
but
Lindsey Graham.
it's a next level of evil to victimize the victims a second time.
Exactly. And DeSantis actually encapsulates this perfectly with this statement, which is why I wanted to end with this video. Connor, if you could play this.
First of all, he was invited by the Gold Star families. He didn't just show up to make a scene. They invited him to be there. They asked him to pose for photos with the family members of the fallen. So I don't see, the outrage, but here's the thing. If people like Harris and the media are going to express more outrage at that than the people that made them Gold Star families in the first place, something is wrong. That is unacceptable. Thanks, guys.
Wow, dude, good for good old Ron DeSantis, bro. They're gonna be outraged about him going, not about the people that made them Gold Star families. That's a punch right in the face,
He
bro.
encapsulated that perfectly with that statement. Yeah.
It's just guys, and as a veteran, and I've had friends that have passed, like what the fact that you're using hate towards the military, or he's not supposed to go there, or he said this as if you're going to make the soldiers, because by the way, you disrespect the soldier, forget it. You know what I mean? Beyond, offending LGBTQ or whatever, this is like the highest level, because these are our soldiers. These are the people, like Rob said, that give us the freedom, that sacrifice, that put their life on the line to give us to be able to burn the flag, to be able to do all these stupid shit that people are doing. To use that, I think it's disgusting, and that's why the majority of military personnel, veterans and active duty, do not like Joe Biden or any Democrats. They are so pro freaking Donald Trump. It's insane, okay? The guy is a freaking rock star. They are inviting him to come to take photos and show respect because they know that he cares. And by the way, when you invite the other people at the same exact time, what a beautiful thing as a family. Like, you know what? He's the ex-president. You're the current president. Maybe even come.
They didn't even respond out of politics. I won't be seen on stage with that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Awful people.
Yeah, that just goes to show you the character of the left. And Dave, I know me and you say this a lot about evil, and guess what? I'm not using it as a euphemism. It's not a joking matter. Either you're working for something evil, like you actually know it, or you're too stupid to understand and you're just a dumbass pawn. Either way, nothing that they're doing is right. Nothing. And if you don't feel it in your gut that these people are full of shit, then you are a sheep. Okay? You are a sheep, and when shit hits the fan, you guys are going to be the first ones to feel it because none of you guys are going to be prepared. They're not going to help you. At least we have each other to be like, yo, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You guys are going to feel the pain. Trust me.
Well, anybody who has not studied history knows that the revolutionaries are the first ones executed when their disruption is no longer needed by the regime. So
yeah, exactly. And it just gets me, dude, it drives me insane. And it's,
the one positive that I could see coming from this is all of the people who have lost somebody or anybody who has served, like yourself, Vinny. If they were ever going to vote left, if they had even considered voting for Kamala Harris this election season, hopefully this is something that will stop them from doing so.
I hope so too.
Because it's so despicable.
Oh, well, great story, Amy.